Hi Virgo, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your September 2015 forecast for the month. I wanted to thank you also for subscribing and liking and sharing this video and YouTube channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, I have a personal goal that I'm trying to obtain, so I'd really appreciate your support. I'm using the alchemical deck again. I have these decks that I got from New Orleans, but when I started doing these readings, I just reached for this deck, so I wanted to naturally go with the energy that I felt. Also, thank you for being patient as I've been booking and traveling at the same time. Thank you for adhering to the time changes between New York, Vegas, New Jersey, but I'm back in LA and still doing readings throughout the traveling, but it's just been difficult scheduling at times. But I wanted to also thank you for your patience. So let's get to the month, because happy birthday to you Virgoans who have their birthdays in the first half of September. Happy birthday to you. And we have some dynamic energy, let's call it, for September, because your ruling planet will be retrograde, sandwiched in between two solar eclipses. So let's start the top of the month on the 6th of September with Venus going direct at 14 degrees of Leo. She's been in Leo for a few months, and she'll remain there through October 9th or October 8th in your 12th house. So Venus is beautification. It's the smoothing over of energy in the sector that she lands. And she's been in your 12th house of rest and the 12th house of solitude, the house of spirituality and intuition. So in the retrograde, there could have been a review of what practices you are using in order to get closer to the subconscious mind, the 12th house of the subconscious. And this could be about meditation and reflection and yoga and things that calm and center you. She'll remain there, though, through the 8th of October, direct, and this could also bring love and money into the 12th house, more money for classes of spirituality or metaphysical realms if you're into that kind of thing. Now, on the 13th, we have our new moon partial solar eclipse at 20 degrees of Virgo. Okay, so this eclipse is hitting you in your first house of self and body. Now, an eclipse is tremendous energy, and it's also a portal of energy between the sun, the moon, and the earth, opening up. And that's why eclipses are very rare, because they establish the pattern of the lunar cycles. And having an eclipse in your first house is not a day for action. You should mark the 13th on your calendar at a minimum, because the new moon bringing in the new intentions and what you'd like to adhere to for the 28-day lunar cycle could be more emotional than anticipated. Normally we think of full moons as gathering the most emotion, as they're accumulatively ending the lunar cycle. But this new moon falling in your first house could affect you on an emotional level that you're not really expecting or prepared for. So mark that day as a day of not taking tremendous action. Don't make too many major decisions at all. I think September is not a time for decisions. I'd wait till later of the month when you have Mars at least entering your sign. On the 17th, we have a lot of energy happening at the same time. That is the day that Mercury, your ruling planet, goes retrograde until October 9th. So he'll retrograde at 15 degrees of Libra in your second house of money and resources and self-worth and self-value and budgets and possessions. So this is not a time for big budget items. It's not a time for spending. It's a time to really stick to what is only necessary. And with a Mercury retrograde, this will bring in the typical communication delays, equipment breakdowns or delays in repairs or needing of repair, the vehicle, the computers, the cell phones, miscommunication, missed emails, things of that nature. So in particular, though, with a retrograde in the second house for you, You really want to watch the bank statements and your banking online deductions, and just make sure that all of the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. There could be something that's missed or maybe doubly paid for. You want to really review your money at that time through the 9th of October. Again, on the 17th, Jupiter is stationed in Virgo, okay? So that's something super positive for the first house of self. Although watch your weight gain, because Jupiter will expand the body when he's in that sector for the full year. Actually, he's with you for 13 months. So, but he brings luck and abundance and raises you up a level, and there's a lot of optimism with this planet in your sign, and a lot of faith. Jupiter is faith, naturally ruling the 9th house of faith and adventure. Okay, so with Jupiter conjunct the new moon partial solar eclipse in Virgo, this planet, Jupiter, is opposing Neptune in Pisces at this time on the 17th in your 7th house of marriages. So the eclipse in the new moon in the 1st house, where Jupiter is in an opposition to a planet, Neptune, a very nebulous, delusional energy. Neptune loves to drink. Neptune loves their rose-colored glasses. And it's Neptune stationed in your marriage sector and has been for quite some time. So, an opposition is a tug of war. It's not a harmonious position. But I feel like there is a pull of very positive energy with Jupiter in your 1st house, giving you a lot of faith and optimism and hope, against Neptune in the 7th, which is not really seeing things clearly in the marriage, if you're married, or if you're not married, the business partnerships, or the house of the others, the 7th house of the others who you do work with. So you want to, I would not take what you think your gut instinct is around the 17th. I wouldn't take that for certain. I would wait to see how things manifest after the Mercury retrograde ends on October 9th, as well as the 2nd lunar eclipse and the full moon that we'll have at the end of the month. There could just be some opposition that day within your relationship on the 17th, between something that you really want to see expand and have happen and the opposite of that. Maybe some delusion around that and not really thinking things through, and getting in too quickly or making a rash decision could occur. So keep that day on hold. On the 17th as well, Saturn makes his transit out of Scorpio, where he's been for the 2.5 years, and he enters Sagittarius, and he'll remain there through December of 2017, the end of the year, the end of 2017. So this will impede your 4th house of home and your environment, the house of the mother, the house of your foundation and your roots and where you come from. And Saturn being control and restriction and focus and lessons learned in the sector of the home and childhood and motherhood, there could be something here over the next 2.5 years that is addressed in a big way. Some of you might be gaining homes to plant seeds in. This is your roots, where you could remain for 27 to 30 years, where Saturn will take that long to get back to this 4th house. Some of you could be buying and finding that foundation, that home. Some of you could be experiencing lessons with your mother at this time. And Saturn, when you have your Saturn return in a sector every 27 to 30 years, it's not always as comfortable as it is when it starts out initially. He's trying to make things better as he exits, so the initial markings of Saturn in the sector might feel like uneasy, but it's all for the betterment of the realignment of the path. On the 23rd, the Sun enters Libra, and we like this for you because that will replenish some of the energy that Mercury is draining out of your 2nd house of resources. Because the Sun, he is the largest energy we have, and he's entering the 2nd house of possessions and the budget and self-value, giving you a little bit more confidence and and self-worth is uplifted at that time. And he remains there through mid-October. On the 24th of September, Mars enters Virgo, your first house, giving you yet again more energy. So, you know, when Mars is in the first house, it's great to start a workout routine, and you'll probably need that because Jupiter's in your first house, kind of working against the weight loss at this time. On the solar wheel, as a solar sidereal forecast, Mars is entering your first house of self, stamina, energy, sex drive, determination, road rage, a lot of energy to quickly get aggressive or angry, so watch your temper, Virgoans, at this time. But he's there for 60 days, 50 days, so he can get a lot accomplished in that time frame, meeting deadlines, getting the body in order, wanting to sweat, wanting to expel a lot of energy. We end the month on the 27th with our full moon total lunar eclipse at 4 degrees of Aries in your 8th house. The 8th house has a lot to do with mysteries and death and the occult, but it also is about wills, inheritances, estates, shared resources. And having a full moon bring things to an awareness and an ending. You could be changing up your where you're putting your money at this time, seeing what better serves your finances, since you have the Mercury retrograde in the 2nd house, the polar opposite of the 8th house. There's a review of your finances at this time in a major way, not just casually, in a major way. And the 8th house of endings could also see you hearing, could have you hearing of someone that has passed. For those people who have ailing, parents or family members, a full moon bringing an ending and an eclipse is very powerful ending in energy in the 8th house. That's the only house that represents passing. So I just want to put that out there, but it doesn't apply to everybody in that way. It really has to apply to your natal chart specifically. So this is a general forecast. The 8th house could also be shared properties and ending the sale of a property or a sale of something that has been pending for you for quite some time. An eclipse will eclipse that weight right out of the picture. Let me get to the cards and see what they have to say for Virgo for September 2015. And if you'd like to read with me, I read all through the week. It is my full-time job, and we can get it cracking. You can reach me at audreyalison.com, and I'm on Facebook at Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. If you'd like your astrological chart incorporated into your reading, that would start at the 45-minute mark and 60 or 90 minutes. I don't do astrological readings for 50 or 10 or 30 minutes. There's too much work involved in that, so I hope you can respect that. Okay, Virgo, here are your cards for 2015 September. The Knight of Cups, the intuitive self. Gaining information by remaining quiet and restful. The 12th house, that's where Venus is going direct for you. Not allowing a lot of external influence right now. Let's see what else. The Ten of Swords. Now, not a great card, but this month is a little trepidatious here. Rejection, loss, dealing with someone's death or passing. I hate to be negative in any forecast, but let's see how this could all apply. The Ten of Wands, sacrifice, overcome with passion, Mars entering your sign. You might release a few habits with Mars in the first, because there's not a lot of time to just sit around and be lazy. Mars wants you on the go. So if you've been putting things off or procrastinating, this card is an indication of getting a lot of things handled. 10. Also releasing your burdens. The Ace of Coins. This is a new source of health, a new source of wealth, and it also indicates March 21st, the time of spring. Let's see how this applies. You have a few cards coming up in the final spread. The Two of Coins, shared resources. The 8th house, the 2nd house as well, the 2. And you see how the sun and moon are on here? That's indicative of the eclipse energy. Now, the eclipse is in Virgo. So, the sun eclipses the moon, vice versa. Let's see. You really don't want to come out of pocket. Since the retrograde's hitting your 2nd house of money, 2nd house, the 2, and the eclipse energy, it's not a time for big ticket purchases. Another 10. You have the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Wands. This is the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is rebirth, transformation. Some of you Virgos could be changing up the whole system, your whole regimen. You have 2 more cards. The eclipse energy of the Tower and the King of Swords. Clear thinking, becoming your own authority, eclipsing out a boss figure, being your own boss, or getting rid of a male air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, some authority figure that is being eclipsed out of the picture. You have so many cards. Let's see how these apply. I feel a lot of you intuitively know, which way is best to do this? A lot of you intuitively know who might be coming close to passing. I don't feel a lot of surprise about any stimulation in the 8th house, but I also feel like this could also apply to the shared resources, and you could receive some kind of lone energy from a male air sign. Suddenly, abruptly. The Tower is Uranian energy, very sudden surprise, but it could be the eclipse. Eclipsing in help, eclipsing in some clear thought, getting control over the budget and the self-worth and the finances. There might be sacrifice that needs to be made in order for you to turn into the phoenix. I apologize. This is the 9 of wands, and this is the 10 of wands. My cards are so old that it was hard for me to even see the number on there. Releasing maybe a creative endeavor. You have too many irons in the fire. If you're trying to get too many things accomplished with creative works, too many rods in the fire is what I hear. So you can't accomplish everything at the same time because your energy needs to be focused and not 10% in every direction. You need more of 100% in one direction. One direction. Okay, one direction. The Ace of Coins is positive for your health. So for those of you who have some energy, though the eclipse is hitting you this month, I would recommend implementing that because you have some support in the tarot, as well as Mars on the 24th entering your 1st house for about 50 days. Watch the temper. When it comes to the fire, you could have a little bite to you, but you're used to that because you have that, every 2 years when Mars enters your sign. Stick to yourself as much as you can in September as far as your expressions or, maybe the road you plan on taking with your life or the routine or your health regimen. It's good to keep things a little quiet here. You don't want to have any sense of rejection put upon yourself for the sake of nothing. All right, Virgo, I'm wishing you luck in September and happy birthday to you. Okay, so I hope you have a great month, as rocky as it can be. I still wish you a beautiful month, and I will see you next month. Have a sweet day. Bye.